Hey guys, so this is going to be the first video of a short series of beginning astrophotography. Hopefully I can share a little bit of knowledge that I've learnt. I am no expert, I am still a beginner. I will probably be a beginner for the next couple of decades, but I have learnt quite a lot over the past year or so that I would like to share. I am Mark and I am from Telescopium. Telescopium is the supplier of Svbony products in South Africa. So this video is going to be a short one on the differences between camera lenses and refractors. So I have had a number of people who have camera lenses and who would like to upgrade to telescopes. They ask why, and I have given this question quite a lot of thought because to me a camera lens is just something you have. It's something that might be quite cheap to get. I have an Svbony SV48P refractor which I have used for some astrophotography. It is not the best astrophotography tool out there, but it is a very nice visual scope and it does a fairly good job. I also have an Asahi Pentax 300mm f4 which I use for astrophotography and I really enjoy that one. So camera lenses are available, they are cheap, where telescopes can be quite expensive, especially if you have a camera lens already. A telescope is an extra investment. However, if you are doing astrophotography, you generally have bought the mount, and mounts are definitely, make the hobby a bit more of an expensive one. So the first thing is cost, as I've been saying. Old camera lenses are excellent tools. They are sharp and they are available and they are cheap. Telescopes can be very expensive, refractors specifically. Now this video I'm talking about refractors, not just telescopes in general. Refractors are fairly expensive if you really want the sharpness and all of those good things that you get from a camera lens. But with the camera lens, the next point is focusing, and that's where you really start to notice the disadvantages of camera lenses. The camera lenses are much more difficult to focus when you're doing the fine focusing on stars. The Asahi lens that I have here is a manual lens and it does focus nicely, but it doesn't focus quite as well as a telescope built for the purpose. Also, your camera has to be at a specific place behind the camera lens so that the sensor is in the right place. If the sensor is not in the right place, you cannot ever get focus, and that can be quite a challenge. So it can prevent you from using filters or maybe a Barlow element that you would like to put in to get a little bit more zoom. Where the telescope, generally refractors have these rack and pinion focuses, and generally something like this with a 10:1 gear reduction, so that you can really get the focus spot on. And if you so much as touch the camera lens's focusing mechanism, it goes out of focus and you have to go and focus on another bright star, get your focus back in, and then restart your imaging. And that can really cause a little bit of unpleasant time spent focusing where you'd rather be spending that time imaging. The refractor holds its focus very well. I have had a week or 2 or 3 between imaging sessions and my focus has still been spot on when setting up again. Obviously I do check focus every single time and I recommend that you do, but it is just proof of the focusing ability of, or the focus holding ability of the refractor. You can also put just about any imaging train you would like to on the back of a refractor. Where the camera lens, you only have a certain amount of space between the lens and the camera and a very short imaging plane. The refractor, you can put your field corrector, you can put the filter wheels, you can even put an off-axis guider if you want to do that with a refractor. You can put, you can put a DSLR on the back, any astro imaging camera, even a Nikon with its deep sensor, you can put that on the back of a refractor and that will work just fine. You have all the back focus you could ever want in a refractor. Especially the Svbony ones, I have noticed they put a lot of back focus on. The disadvantage of that amount of back focus is when you start adding all your imaging equipment, big cameras, filter wheels, focusing motors and all of that, the telescope can be a little bit off balance and can be quite difficult to get that balance because you have to move the dovetail plate behind the focusing knobs. But anyway, that can be overcome, and refractors are generally light, and that little bit of declination, offsetting, balancing is not really the biggest problem in the world, and it can be overcome. And then fourth and finally, mounting. Cameras, either you're going to mount the lens like you would with a bigger lens like this, or you're going to mount the camera onto the mount. And cameras and lenses generally only have 1/4 inch 20 slot, so you have to really tighten them up to get them to not have any possibility of moving around. Any movement can cause flexure, and that can really spoil your night. The refractor, on the other hand, has got more than one mounting for the dovetail plate, and then more than one place where it holds onto the telescope itself, and that makes it a little bit better for getting that really solid imaging train, so that you get no flexure, good guiding, and beautiful images. Also, your guide scope. The camera lenses are not made to hold anything. They're not made to hold the guide scope. They don't have the guide scope mounting shoe. You have to make some sort of a plan to put the guide scope next to the telescope, or print something with a 3D printer to get that into the camera, or something like that, where you can put your guide scope on that if you want to guide. Obviously you can also do unguided photography, and that's also fine. Telescopes, on the other hand, have got the mounting shoe for guide scopes. You can put an extra dovetail system on top of your refractor to get your guide scope on there, and once your guide scope is on there, it's really solid, and you don't get much flexure or anything or you don't get any flexure, can I put it that way. So telescopes are really a tool built for the job, and these are some of the reasons why. There are obviously, like I have highlighted, some of the advantages of a camera: field correction, good chromatic aberration performance, generally sharp, very available, cheap, and easy to come by. But I would say a camera lens is more of a tool to get your feet wet, to get, to start learning the ropes, where a telescope is really the correct tool for the job. So yes, I hope this has been an informative video, and next time I will be talking a bit more about different telescopes, and hope to see you then. Cheers.